What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you today with more Damachi, and today we're going to be talking about 7th Zone, Wind Zone. Now, I know we haven't talked about Light Zone. I'm going to be real, I was able to nerf this team a little bit to get, because, like, I could throw Katori and, you know, the Fire Riv on here, and we beat this, and we made, like, amazing times, and got really high numbers, and we're actually ranking for once. But most of you guys aren't going to have those units, or a good chunk of you aren't going to have those units. So what I want to do is I want to build a team that's more representative of what you could possibly build, especially using your units. Case in point, even though this is a single target event, I am running Elise on this team. Now, you'll notice that I have the Artemis Assist attached to her. That is just to give her the most amount of attack damage possible. Obviously, slot 1, we always have Haruhime, and because it's a fire event, we have the free-to-play Hermes Assist that gives 10% to all those stats. Now, getting into some of the more interesting units. Of course, and I'll mention the staple of this team is Line in slot 4, which has an interesting caveat, but I'll get to that in a moment. Okay? Now, Elise obviously is here because she's one of the newest units. She is an AoE, but she is still going to do substantial damage. Now, to be real, she's going to be cutting back a little bit on that damage. She did about 850k in my test runs, but I was also running the AoE Hestia. I'm going to run the single target Hestia because I think we can actually beat this a tiny bit faster rather than waiting on SAs. Maybe. We'll see. This will be an interesting test run. So I've got the single target Hestia actually attached to Lina. And Lina is a really interesting unit for this team because Lina, with her second skill, removes strength and magic buffs. Now, on this team, you have got to remove those buffs. As soon as strength and magic are buffed, if you don't remove them, you're dead. Period. You got to remove both of them, all right? Both of them get buffed on turn 3 and I believe turn 6. I could be wrong. 3, I think it's every third turn. So as soon as they're buffed, she's going to come in and she's going to say, nope, that ain't happening. Sorry. So she's going to be really important to the long game. And once again, an interesting caveat to this unit when it comes to wealth, but we'll get to wealth in a moment. Like I said, I've got the single target Hestia attached to her. I could use the AoE Hestia to get a little bit more damage out of Elise in her SA, but if I'm honest, most of our attacks are going to be single target, so I'm really going to focus on the single target Hestia to see if some of the base attacks, which we're going to be doing a lot more of, will produce that extra damage. We're going to lose about 15%, so give or take, you know, 100,000 or so damage on Elise, but we might actually be able to make that up in the interim. So we'll talk about that. We'll get to that. Now, obviously we said Line's attached, and she has the Apollo unit that's attached to her that will actually Apollo will decrease their fire resistance. I don't have Apollo max limit broken, and because of that, his stats aren't the best, so I always float him. Line is going to use a revolving amulet, and after turn 1, she's gone. So will he be, but being a debuffer, we don't need to worry about that. Getting into this turn, this is going to be an interesting one. Now, this, eyes at first glance, probably isn't the best fit for this team, but if we go down here, even though this is an AoE attack, she does guard rate minus 30% and damage received attack all targets plus 30%. That is actually going to go back and help a little bit on producing that extra little bit of damage for the AoE. For the SA with Elise, because Elise is going to be the one doing the SA. Nobody else could really touch her in damage. So we'll get into that. But she's going to be really important. Turn 2, she's going to be sacked out. She's actually running the Hestia that reduces strength. Now, I will also tell you, you've got to use somebody that reduces strength. There are a couple of other units out there, but Hestia is the one that's not max limit broken. She's going to be the easiest one that most people are probably going to have, especially considering here in about 3 days, we have the Hestia event come in. You're going to get one of her really soon. So if you don't have her, I know 7th Zone is gone by that point, but you're going to get her, and you'll be able to replicate this when 7th Zone single target or whatever comes back in the future. So it is worth at least keeping this for posterity's sake. Now, Wealth. Wealth is an interesting addition. Notice I have the Finn attached to him. That way Finn can give everybody 33%. Once again, I'm trying to use more recent units. And Wealth is a pretty recent unit himself. Now, Wealth's first attack, or first, it's not even an attack, it's a buff, is allies SA gauge charged 33%. That does slightly overlap what Line did, but Line also gets a critical buff where this dude gets magic dex and fire attack damage plus 30%. So, to everybody. So if they don't have a buff, they suddenly get one. That's going to be super, super handy. Okay? Now, even for Haruhime, and we'll get into that. But that is what he's going to do. Now, he also has, and he has here attack all in single targets plus 20%. That's going to help us increase our output with the single target attacks and produce more damage for our single target attacks. It's not going to override the AoEs, but it will help. Now, he does have on his SA, removes strength and magic buffs, but we're not going to use that. We're not going to use his SA. He's so low level that his SA is going to be holding us back. It only hits for like 200 something, whereas, Elise being Maxima broken and with all of her buffs, is going to hit probably in the 700 to 750 range, obviously depending upon crit, penetration, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about what you need to do as far as the run goes, okay? It is single target, so do bear that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and do Akane to obviously debuff. We're going to go ahead and do our buff stacks. And we're going to do our 33% SA gauge charge with Line. Main reason we're going to do that, like I said, it's going to give us 2 extra turns where we're getting that. It's going to be really, really, really important. Okay? We're going to debuff with eyes. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to do her third skill. Do Lena's third skill here. We're going to do the second skill to get the critical and penetration rate up. And I'm going to go ahead and do Yosuga, just because we need a buff replicate 1 extra turn. In fact, we'll need a buff replicate for a little bit. It will probably be a bit of time. Yeah, see, Haruhime needs a mad heal here. So I can't actually use skill 2 for her. I need to heal. So I'm going to go skill 3 with Elise. Skill 2 with Lena. Because remember, skill 2 is going to remove the strength and magic buff. And we're going to go ahead and buff the SA gauge charge. So here we go. Yeah, if you do not remove the strength buffs, like, everybody dead there. Like, unless you're running, like, a crazy Maxima Broken team. That's about the only way that team is really able to survive. Now, I'm going to keep spamming Yosuga, and I'm going to basically run it up to turn 6, where we're going to do a double SA. So, here we go. We're going to do skill 3. We're going to go back to skill 3 with Lena. With him, we're going to go ahead and do skill 2. That's going to get a little bit more damage out. Here we go. Now, we do have to keep an eye on health. Health is going to be a problem. And we've got to keep an eye on the spider's buffs. All the buffs are going to go away here, I believe, this turn. And then he's going to rebuff on turn 6. Yeah, everything runs out here, and on turn 6, he's going to rebuff. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that we remove that buff on turn 7. But turn 6, we're going to do double SA anyway. So, skill 3, skill 3, skill 3, and skill 3. Everything's skill 3 at this point. Okay, notice we're doing single target damage with Elise. We don't need to do her AoE. It's not going to do a whole lot. Once all the buffs are there, we just worry about skill 3 because it's single target. So here we go. There we are. Perfect. Now, all the buffs are gone. Everything's gone. So on this turn, the spider's actually going to buff himself, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold off and do the magic, strength and magic removal on the final turn, because generally speaking, we get all of our attacks off first, so it'd be a waste of a move. So I'm going to go ahead and do the SA with Haruhime and with Elise. If you're not familiar with what Elise does, all allies strength and magic and fire damage 60%. That is going to produce a lot of damage from everybody. Well, at least way more than they could before. So, skill 3 for the other two. Let's go. Alright. So here we go. If you're not familiar with what Haruhime does here, basically Haruhime is going to give everybody Strength and Magic plus 100% and do a big heal on everybody. Obviously going to help out there. And does a little bit of MP restoration for herself. And that does mean that the only thing she's really doing, she's going to hit hard. Let's see. We got... Come on, girl. Okay. No crit, no penetration. We did about 750. So I really need to do the Haruhime buff skill. And we'll do that here in a moment. Well, actually, we'll go ahead and do it now. Because I don't think anything is on the brink of running out. The magic and strength that will last one turn. Yeah. We're good there. We're good there. Actually, I don't have to worry about Lena because her passive will actually increase her buffs anyway. So we're going to do skill 3, skill 3, skill 3, and I'm going to do skill 2 with Haruhime, build up her MP a little bit more, and for the next few turns we'll go ahead and do skill 3 Yosuga and buff that. So this will give us a little bit more crit, a little more penetration, and just kind of allow us to go a little bit harder. Plus, doing it now means that we're at full health. We don't have to worry about, healing or any of that stuff. So, Strength and Magic are back up. I forgot to remove those, so I'm going to use Surging Force to remove those. That was bad. Turn 7, I should have removed those, and I didn't. I knew there was something I forgot. So I got to remove them now, because I do not want to get killed. Though we didn't take crazy damage, we don't want to risk it. So, skill 3, skill 3, skill 2, skill 3. Probably should have done that skill 2, like I said, with Lena last turn. Would have normally done skill 3 here. But turn now, we're going to get another SA, so we're going to do that with Elise here in a moment. Get it. Yeah. See, those hits did not feel good, and had I removed the buffs on turn 7, it wouldn't have been a problem, but here we go. Turn 9. SA with Elise. Like I said, hopefully now we're going to get crit and penetration. Maybe we'll be back up in the 850 range where I saw us last time. I don't know if that's really going to happen, but fingers crossed. Everybody else, skill 3. Let's go. Now, the goal here is to S-clear this. I don't normally say that, but Elise is such an amazing unit. If you have her max limit broken, and you've got even, I would say, 3 purple stars in her, we should be able to S-clear this without question. If you don't have her max limit broken, I feel bad because you can't chase her anymore. She was worth the chase. She's really, really, really good, and I think she's going to stand on her own for an extremely long time. Okay, now we've run out of MP, so we've got to do skill 2 with Haruhime, and with Elise, we're going to go back to skill 3. And everything else ran out, so turn 11 we're going to have to use Lene's skill 2 again, just making that mental note right there. Alright, skill 2, skill 3, skill 3, skill 3, let's go. Bam. Alright, now one thing I didn't mention here at the beginning, and I should have mentioned it, you need to use stun anklets, but I think that's kind of been the case for 7th Zone for a long time. You gotta use stun anklets. That ailment that he just tried to deal out there on turn 10 was a stun, and I completely forgot to mention that at the beginning. So as far as armor goes, you gotta use stun anklets. Sorry I didn't mention that at the beginning. Hopefully you guys watched it all the way through, or at least have watched enough of the videos to know you need to add those in there. I'm going to go ahead and do Yosuga on this turn because I am going to go ahead and do another SA. Actually, I think we'll be fine. Yeah, because it's going to well, I don't need to worry about her. Yeah, so we're going to do skill 2 with Lena, skill 3 with Welv, the SA with Elise, and I'm going to do skill 2 one more time with Haruhime. Now, I will need to do skill 3 on the next turn to keep everything replicated so it doesn't run out. But, here we go. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. We're about to S-clear this, too, is the best part. And I'm going to be real. I'll go ahead and wrap myself out now. I do not have Elise's weapon on her. I haven't upgraded her weapon. So if you have her weapon maxed out, you'll be doing way better than I am. So skill 3, skill 3, skill 3, skill 3. Everybody's skill 3 on this turn, and this should be the last turn. And rip. Bam, look at that. That's why I say you don't even need at least max them, but broken. I would imagine +3, at least fully ascended. She should just be able to kill this within 15 turns, no questions. And you're not quite eking out rank here. Obviously, you want 15 mil damage, but I'm gonna be real. Like, if you follow this methodology, you're gonna kill it so fast, you could probably find that extra little bit in there. Find a quick way to do Sheikah earlier, get a little bit more crit and penetration, or run it a few times, and then hope for like good luck on crit and penetration, and you'll get the 15 mil and get all the rewards for that. I could show off the crazy team, but I'm actually working on it. I only hit 20 mil, and I'm working on a better team for that. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments section down below. I'd like to try to put a hashtag at the end of the video. So if you want to see the crazy team, hashtag crazy team, please, in the comments section. Please spelled PLZ, because, yeah. Other than that, guys, that's the video. Like, comment, share. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Let me know if it did, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.